Hello, everyone. This is Master Rein.
And I'm Silly Squirrel.
And we are ReviveMeBroGames, a gaming podcast where two best friends discuss cooperative games, multiplayer games, and so much more. We're available anywhere you get your podcasts. So if you listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star review. It's free and it helps support us a ton. Plus, we're giving away free merch. All you got to do is send us a screenshot of your 5-star review to our email or social media with your name and address, and we will send the goods wherever you are. Finally, remember to check out our YouTube page with the latest streams and, of course, the pods. Silly Squirrel, my brother, how you doing, man?
Yo, my man, Master Rein. Oh, my God.
Finally back at it, man.
I know. It's been good. I've been looking forward to this one as I do every single one of our podcasts.
Dude, we be podcasting nowadays.
Yeah, can't complain. Finally have some time. I've been streaming a little bit, so thank everyone for watching. Yeah, man. I'm doing great. How about you?
Yo, can't complain as well, sir. Life has been good and busy. Little girl is grown a ton, and we definitely recently moved to be closer to family, which definitely had me had to take a little bit of a hiatus, right? But I'm back at it. I'm back at it. I just started a new what's it call it hobby. So a lot of people know if you follow me on like the other like TikTok account I have, or if you've seen like some posts, I'll spin like flow lights, right? I'll spin like the LED lights, and what I have when I have two, one in each hand, that's called like poi, right? So it's like LED poi that I spin, but I just upgraded or changed, and I am practicing what's called rope dart poi or rope dart flow, which is like when I started it and started doing research in it, I didn't actually realize it. It really is a martial art. So it's like basically just having the long rope with a knife at the end of it. But instead of a knife, I have an LED light.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Dude, so I've been practicing that for like about a week and a half now. And like, it's almost like, going from one instrument to the other. Like if you do like the clarinet and you go to the saxophone or vice versa, it's like they're so similar, right? And like I've been since we have a large yard now and no neighbors, like I can turn these crazy bright lights on, and when I spin it, like I spin it really far from me, and I can like launch this thing really far and stuff like that. So it's been badass.
Nice.
Like I can't wait to actually get like really good at it, because like the truth is, because now it's like a martial art, like there's some people out there who are like phenomenal at it, like phenomenal. I was watching like side note, but I was watching this like old like Asian master at it, like just pick up a thing and just kind of do it. Dude, I was blown away. He did it so fast, so effortlessly, just so perfect, like every move and like every wrap around his body. I was just like, that's freaking, like, you have Nen, you have like chi that you charge up or whatever in order to do that, because that's impressive. What the heck?
It's like you have Nen.
You have Nen that you flow around you, don't you, sir?
That's really cool. No, I'm looking forward to seeing you do this more, or see you do it live, which might be sooner rather than later.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's really cool, dude. I mean, I wish I could say I picked up a new hobby. Haven't really had the time. But feeding my new hobby, I did just purchase a Miu Mini.
Ooh.
If you're into emulation, you probably recognize the name.
But for everybody else, what is that?
Yeah, what is a Miu Mini? Basically, imagine a Game Boy Color, but it has all these emulators installed.
Ooh.
So it has Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 1, Neo Geo, and all these other like old school like consoles.
No way, dude.
And it comes preloaded with a lot of games, and it is such a delight to play with that little thing. The thing is, it's small, and so you can literally put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
And it doesn't weigh much. The battery life is really good. It is honestly the best way to play like a handheld game. So I've been playing Pokemon Sapphire and Final Fantasy VI. My wife's been playing Pokemon Leaf Green. And like I got it from this guy at work who he posted it. He's like, selling Miu Mini doesn't fit my hands. I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'll buy it from him. So we meet up, and this dude is huge. This motherfucker he's huge. Like, this man is like from the mountains of Caucasus.
He needs a Mio Gigante then, not a mini.
Yeah, so this guy's huge. And he grabs the thing. Okay, first, like, I was trying to contain my laughter. And then he pulls out the Mio Mini.
Oh, man.
And he's holding it.
Oh, man.
And it's like, yeah, he wasn't kidding. His fucking thumb probably covers the whole screen.
Oh, my goodness. Dude, that's...
And he goes,
wow.
He goes, yeah, it doesn't fit my hand. I was like, oh, God, I'll take it from you. And
wow. What a find, though.
It was hilarious. Yeah. Got it for relatively cheap. I mean, they are pretty cheap, to be honest. You can probably get these on Amazon. They kind of take a while to ship, but totally worth it if you can get your hands on them.
Sweet.
So I've been playing around with that. I also have my Nintendo DS. But now that I have the Mio Mini, it's like kind of pointless. But anyway, so that's been my go-to gaming stuff since I haven't been able to play anything else, really.
Yeah.
Let's talk about games.
Let's talk about some games, dude.
Yeah.
So let's do this, dude. Let's hit the road with today's topic: video game adaptations in film and on TV. There has been a number of things that have come out over the years. Many people have seen a lot of it already. We're going to talk about some of the good, some of the bad, and what we think is really important, that if some director out there, some producer or some studio just catches wind of this podcast, please, for the love of God, hear us out. But to get kind of started and rolling down this topic, video game movies, TV shows like that. Silly Squirrel, my brother, what are your favorite video game movies, and what are some of the worst ones that you've seen? And then we'll really get into it later, obviously. But I'm really curious which ones are your favorites and the ones that you really hated.
Yeah. So I have a very soft spot for Mortal Kombat 1. The Paul Anderson one from a long time ago.
Sweet.
I used to love the second one, but then watching it as an adult, I realized it's not as good as the first one. The first one is like, I love it because it literally grabs the game and makes it into a movie, and the actors they're in it, they're having fun.
Yeah.
And the whole movie is fun, and it's memorable, and it doesn't need to be so deep. It's like you have these fighters trying to save the world,
Yeah.
Like the final battle in the movie was really iconic, especially with the music. I mean, the music. Yeah. Oh my God, the music. Yeah.
You're talking about
like everyone.
We're talking about the "I'll steal your souls," dude, right?
Yeah. What's his name?
Oh my God.
Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the final battle against Shang Tsung, like that one's really good choreography. Anyway, Mortal Kombat 1.
The actor was badass at that too, man. Dude.
I know, he really was.
Your soul. Dude, iconic,
I know,
bro. Oh my God.
I know, his face was it's like if there's ever been an actor that is meant to play a bad guy.
Dude. Yes.
And then I liked all Tomb Raider films, every single one of them. I like them. I like the two Angelina Jolie ones.
Raider, bro. Just kidding.
Hey, I like Angelina Jolie films, and I like the one that came out a few years ago.
I do like those too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and then lastly, I think Advent Children, even though story-wise it's a bit whack, and unless you play Final Fantasy VII, you won't really get the gist of it.
Right.
But I remember seeing it as a kid and thinking that the quality of the film was fantastic, and it was a lot of fun. Like, I had no clue exactly what was going on, but I at least knew who Cloud was. I knew who Aerith was. I knew who, even though I knew who Sephiroth was. It was great. I enjoyed that movie a lot.
Yeah. It's funny because like if you sit down and watch that movie with anybody who's just maybe heard of the game, there's like. It's like, how do you explain 150 hours of gameplay to somebody so they can watch a movie?
I know, right? It's like, please play the game prior to the movie. How long's the game? It has many discs. Oh, okay.
Exactly. It's like, but yeah, I think, for me to start there, like what are my favorites and worst, like I'll start favorite. Advent Children is definitely in the list of my favorite video game adaptation movies, because for all those reasons, all those exact reasons. And it's like, it felt like it stayed true to the character in a lot of different ways. And for at the time after Final Fantasy VII had come out, getting that content was like, oh my god, you know, it was just like something. And it was Final Fantasy VII, it was epic, and it was Cloud, and then that Sephiroth fight scene was just right. It was so good, so much fun to watch that movie, right? Especially having since I knew the lore too. I also want to say I really like the Sonic movies. You know, I probably would actually, I definitely would not have liked them had Sonic not looked as good as the character did now. And I think things can be very cheesy and really kid oriented. I mean, but Sonic and Tails, especially when Tails comes out, like it definitely is like, you know, super kid like, right? Because that's what Tails is like, right?
Yeah.
But when Knuckles comes out, things tend to be somewhat mature because Knuckles is the way Knuckles is, right? All that to say, it feels true to the feeling of like Sonic when you were playing the game, or Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2. And you know, spoiler alert, Sonic's part, spoiler alert, we may get Shadow for a Sonic 3 movie, and they're definitely doing a Sonic 3 movie from what they've done already, right? But if they can not only stay true, but like really try hard to get into that like video game lore with this, oh man, it's gonna be fantastic. So funny. You'll have Sonic and Shadow going Super Sonic, and what is Shadow's name? Silver Shadow. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name now. I'm gonna look it up. Super Sonic and Super Shadow. Okay, maybe that's what they called it. I thought it was like Hyper Shadow. That's what I remember a lot of people calling it. Super Sonic and Hyper Shadow. That being said, having them go Super Saiyan and fight in space with like the ultimate life form that Robotnik creates, please. I want it. I would love it. And seeing Super Sonic in this last movie was like, that was so freaking fun. And like the hot dog jokes were kind of a lot, but man, I laughed.
So
dude.
many hot dog jokes.
I did laugh with that last hot dog joke. Sonic is literally like ascended, right? Can do anything, and he calls down like this glizzy, you know? Like I did laugh at that. I'm not gonna lie. So, you know, there's things I hope they can change and whatever, but I did like those adaptations. Now, the ones that I really hated though, I'll start with this one, Avatar: The Last Bender movie. I know it's not a video game movie, but fuck the movie specifically because they should not have done what they did to Aang and Katara and anyways. But
all your horses.
One that I really didn't really like as well was like Assassin's Creed. I really love the lore of Assassin's Creed, and it felt like they wanted to just make money off of the fact that you played this cool game and you felt epic, and I just kind of tried so hard to make you feel epic again. And like, it's like, I don't want to feel so watching this movie, oh, it's so cool. I want to just I just want like to get the lore, right? Like I just want to get that feeling that I got from Assassin's Creed 1 when you get into like the corporate area and you're just like, there's this mystery, this crazy mystery, right? And like slowly reveals itself as like things go on, and even reveals itself within like, you know, the dream world or whatever, the dreamscape or whatever, right? And it's really intense because now you don't even know what's real, because it's like you're getting things that are happening from the real world, but you're like getting clues in that, in like this, you know, back in like Jerusalem and stuff like that. I was like, I didn't get that in the movie, and obviously the game really does that, right? So that's what really bothered me about it. But you know what? Yeah, there really are a lot of video game movies that like really bothered me, dude. And you know, we can go into them a little bit more here because I'm sure there's quite a few for you too, bro.
In terms of movies that absolutely suck balls, I do remember watching the Super Mario Brothers movie, the original one with Brian Hoskins and John Leguizamo, whatever.
The most uncommon.
Sorry, I have a problem. Name. I know I have a problem with that name. It's like, I have never met another Latino with that name,
bro.
Never.
And
I mean, maybe his mom or his dad is like Portuguese, but for the longest time, I didn't think he was Latino. I'll just put it that way.
I know, dude. I know, man. Like, legit, me too. Yeah, but hey.
The Super Mario Brothers movie, I remember watching as a kid, and even as a kid, I was like, this shit sucks. I was so disappointed. So the Super Mario Brothers movie. And then there's a movie with Gerard Butler called Gamer that I was hyped for, because the idea was that you had this gamer who would use his avatar was basically this con. And so Gerard Butler plays the con, and you have this gamer controlling Gerard Butler. And so the idea seemed cool, but then when I watched the movie, it was the first time a movie offended me. I remember renting it, actually. I went going to get the DVD. And this was before Twitter or even Facebook. It's like, I watched that movie, I'm like, fuck that movie. Because it had this like preachy tone of like video game violence that was pointless. And most of the movie wasn't even about video games. It was just a plot point. But anyways, like regardless of what the movie's about, I did not like it. I felt very offended. And I remember the trailer was selling it as a like basically like a video game movie or a movie that, was about video games and all that. And I should have known and watched the movie, and it's like incredibly insulting.
Should have known.
Anyway, and I almost forgot to mention this. I'm in between. Actually, no. This is one of my favorite movies. Doom. The original Doom with The Rock and Carl Urban was one of my favorite movies in terms of adaptation. Because the beginning, it's more of a horror film.
Yes.
Yes. Really good.
Yes, dude. Yes. And then that first person view when like the dude finally like goes, oh my gosh, not a lot of movies had done that at that point.
Payoff.
And I remember like we were freaking out. We were just like, oh, because it was just like the chainsaw going. We were just like, oh shit. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then, like that fight with the Rock and the dude at the end, like honestly, like when I first watched
it, cheesy, but it was good.
It was cheesy, but it was good, and it almost like it understood itself, right? That was one of the few movies that The Rock, like didn't necessarily like just tank for being The Rock, because that was perfect. The Rock being the good guy, then becoming the villain because he got the whatever.
I know, and I like that, and
dude, I'm gonna watch that one a lot. Yeah,
I might watch that tonight. But
hell yeah,
the idea. I mean, at first, the idea of like depending on the person's morality, does the like what do they call it? The whatever virus will infect you a certain way, And I know we're kind of going overboard on this, but it's like what I'm trying to get to is you have a lot of movies that did a lot of good things but weren't necessarily executed well, or did a lot of horrible things and could have just gotten more love. And I feel like Doom was like right in between, where it's like the directors had a vision for the film, but yet still tried to keep it close to what the game's like.
Yeah.
And I know like at first it's really jarring that you have these Marines kind of, like being all careful and shit.
Yep.
But the first Doom, even though it's intense, it's scary. It's a scary game. Yes. And also Doom 3 just came out, which was also a scary game. So it wasn't too far off from the games. And then, of course, the payoff of the first-person shooter aspect where it goes straight out Doom. Ooh. I mean, that was the highlight of the film. That was so good. But the movie itself was fun. I don't know. Like, it's not... It was what it was, and I loved it. And I thought Carl Urban was badass. I thought The Rock was actually pretty funny and good.
Right.
And then and all the monsters were done like not CGI, but they were actually like
that makes a big difference.
So it was pretty cool. Cool.
You made a good point when it was like the beginning of the movie is like a horror film, and then like it does switch around when Carl Urban like gets like the power or whatever, and he gets like stronger. He becomes like the Doomslayer or whatever. Then it's like, dude, this thing took a turn, and I love the way it feels because yes, they're getting their asses whooped at the beginning, right? It needs to have that whole feeling, and then he gets stronger and. It's just like a video game, right? Just like a video game. And I guess that brings us to like, the I guess like the main biggest point here of today's podcast, which is for the past year, we've had a number of good adaptations. But ever since the Halo show, and you can go and check out the episode from our pod. Do you remember what episode it was, Silly? By any chance?
I don't remember. Give me a sec.
Well, Silly looks for that. There's been, ever since that came out, there have been, and like I said, we can go listen to it, but a lot of video game IPs have managed to make the jump from games to the silver screen. Did you find that episode name by any chance?
It was episode 15, released in June 14 of last year.
There we go. There we go. Awesome. So you can hear us just absolutely rip and tear apart the Halo show for what it was. Sorry, the Master Cheek show. Anyways, uh,
Indubitably.
Oh my god. But
Indubitably.
let's talk about some of these important things that important video games adaptations or IPs that have actually made it onto the silver screen. We're gonna talk some that are that were just on TV, right? But they're important mentions because of just how well or how poorly they were done, right?
So
Go ahead, sorry.
So if I may add, and didn't mean to interrupt you, but if I may add, it's like in the past few years, there's been a lot of very good adaptations, and I find it very frustrating when the Super Mario movie came out, or even The Last of Us, which just came out this year. There was all these articles saying the curse of the video game movie will it finally be broken, and I'm just here thinking like, I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of bad video game movies, but there's a lot of good ones too. And it's like now now these all these articles, which are basically clickbaits, are saying that we finally get a good one. Where I'm like, didn't y'all watch the Angry Birds or Arcane? Or how about that Castlevania show that came out a few years ago? Like, we've had some good adaptations, and I think we should praise those adaptations and see what is the common denominator of what makes a good adaptation good.
Here.
Yeah, and so like, I mean, if you go and listen to our Halo podcast, we had a lot of issues with that show. A lot of issues. They did a few things right and a ton of things wrong.
A ton.
And
I don't even want to get into that one. My God.
Yeah, we won't.
Podcast.
Yeah, but then you go and see like the Super Mario film, a Super Mario Brothers film, or the Last of Us show,
right,
or any of the Sonic movies.
Yep.
And you're like, wow, that was actually very good.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Well, let me tell you why.
Yep.
The common denominator of most of these films is that they stay true to the thing they're adapting. And and I think Master Rein can agree that that doesn't necessarily mean fan service. That doesn't mean we need fan service. Yes, fan service is good. But like, okay, why do people like The Last of Us? Because not only does it follow the story like very well, almost to the T, but because it still it adds to the lore of the game. And B, they don't change things just to change things. They change things thinking of how maybe they could have done something better in the game. You know, like we know like Neil Druckmann was very much a part of the show and part of the showrunners, and he even wrote and directed some of the episodes. But having that connection and that interaction with the creators of the IP allows this other adaptation not only to be respectful, but to have the same like core, like in the end, you look like, yes, Joel and his brother are like Latinos this time around. And granted, I was one of the first ones to be like, oh, okay, they're going that route. But you know what? At the end of the day, the character is basically the same. The fact that they're Latino doesn't change anything about his character. And if anything, I kind of, at the end, I digged it because Pedro Pascal really killed it, and his brother, or the person who plays his brother, also killed it, and even his daughter being like a half black, half Latina in the beginning of the show. I didn't have a problem with it because the character, in essence, was the same.
Right,
and that's what I don't mind. If you change the character's race but you keep the character the same, I think that's okay.
Yeah,
unless the character's race has a lot to do with his characteristics. Like Miles Morales is a half black, half Latino character.
Right.
You want to keep Miles Morales.
Right.
You can't just change Peter Parker and make him into a Latino.
Right. You kind of like, for example, like Black Superman, you kind of can't give him the same backstory where he grows up in like the cornfield, like town village of Kansas or whatever, because like if the guy flying around is black and there's this one black guy in this town right after he flew around, it's kind of easy to put one and one together because like there's not a lot of people. You get what I'm saying now, right? Let's just be real. Let's just be real. I would love a black Superman. I think it would be badass, right?
Oh,
but now
badass.
But I think you're gonna have to also change the backstory of Superman, and now we're no longer talking about Superman, but a side story now, which a lot of us have said, hey, you know, we can do a lot of you know, we don't necessarily have to adapt something just because you guys are trying to make money. You know, we can please come up with some original ideas of things.
Yeah.
You kind of get what I'm saying there. Star Wars, case in point, you know, with kind of what happened there. But here's so what you just said about the Last of Us show is extremely important because that's a show that people followed. It's from a game that had a lot of lore, a lot of story, and the show did it well. Now, what about a game that has absolutely no story and yet the show somehow lived up to its story well? There's an example. Arcane, the League of Legends animated on Netflix. And League of Legends is a game, everybody. If you don't know, it does not have a story. I mean, other than like who the characters are, maybe they have a backstory, maybe they have some interactions between themselves and some cutscenes. I don't really know much more about the story of League of Legends other than there's like fighting going on, right? I don't know. The fact that Arcane was able to give them a deep lore, meaningful lore, not only that, on top of amazing animation, amazing music, hats off. Wow. Like how many people like did Arcane bring in for League of Legends, right? Tons of people who never played it just because they love the show and they love the characters that they met. That's huge in my opinion, because then now we can see what Netflix actually worked alongside with the developers of League of Legends. I forget them right now. Who is it? Oh my God. But they worked alongside, they worked together, and that really helped. Now I don't know the Halo show. I can't remember how much they worked together, but jeez, right? Now let's real quick. Let's go through the list of some of these games because like you guys are kind of already hearing like you and as we go through these games, Silly already mentioned the common denominator with the good games. As we go through these lists, you will hear the common denominator with the bad games, and in fact, we've already mentioned it. So, Super Mario Bros. That was, in my opinion, fantastic for even though it had issues, it has cheesiness, it had whatever. It was fantastic, and I think Disney should quake in their boots. What do you think, Silly?
I'm in the same boat. I think the Super Mario Brothers movie was everything we hoped the other one was going to be many moons ago.
Right.
Yeah, it has issues, but I mean, I bought the movie, man. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had fun. I can't wait to watch it with my kid. I bought it because at the end of the day, everything that I wanted it to be, basically kind of like a Disney Super Nintendo movie. That's exactly what it was.
That's exactly what it was.
And everyone's hating on Chris Pratt or on Princess Peach, like, get over yourselves. Like, it works.
It works
for the movie.
It works.
And you forget that Mario is even voiced by Chris Pratt. You really do.
Amen to that, dude. Yes. Literally, yes. Literally. The only voice I had an issue with was Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong voice. But even that, I can get over it.
But even then,
I can get over it.
Get over it real quick. Yeah,
right.
You do get over it really quick.
Yeah.
It's distracting at first because it's very Seth Rogen.
Especially when it's ha 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 ha, his laugh.
Yeah, it's like, oh God. Like, was he high recording this?
I know, right? But of course, right?
But
anyways, right. That's exactly, and very true to Super Mario stuff, right? We could talk about in a little bit more because that's an important one for the future. The Dungeons and Dragons movie, D&D: Honor Among Thieves. Wow, dude. What do you think about it?
And talk about good timing too. You know, with Diablo and then Baldur's Gate just coming out, the movie just came out in the right moment.
Yes.
And plus with Stranger Things introducing D&D, right? Although D&D is not exactly a video game, a lot of games owe their designs to D&D. You know, like you know, the Planescape Torment, all the Elder Scrolls games, Warcraft. Like the list goes on and on and on. Baldur's Gate, like I mentioned. So having a movie that is close to what a D&D campaign would feel like or even look like was fantastic. And not just that, it was a good movie.
I
I was entertained. I was entertained.
You know, so you mentioned fanfare earlier. Like, you don't have to do fanfare. A little bit is good, right? The D&D movie did the fanfare, I think, like majestically, because the potato thing was it's like an actual like meme, like in the D&D world, right? So the fact that they did that and they do other things and even name drop Baldur's Gate like in there, right? Like I was like, mwah, that was like a chef's kiss. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was good. Like that was so much fun to watch. I loved it. So much fun. That was so much fun.
And the other thing too is like you have characters that have flaws, and for most of the D&D games, you try to role play as a character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And usually your characters become memorable, not because of the stories you create with your friends, but also because a lot of times like you start changing your character a bit because of the situations that they go through. And so what's awesome is that you really truly role play. It's like all you're acting.
Yeah.
And the fact that in this movie you have these actors act, I mean, a little meta here, but like you have the actors acting D&D characters and they have their own arcs, and the arcs are very rewarding. It felt like a good representation of what it feels like to play an RPG and what it feels like to play like the tabletop game.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
And I just played Baldur's Gate not so long ago with some of my friends, and I truly role played my character, and I felt that watching this movie. That it's like, oh yeah, like I can see Luis being this character, I can see Sapito being this character, you know, like it just made sense to me, you know. But anyway.
Yeah. No, exactly. It was good. And I think I really hope that you know, the D&D community is just like completely thrilled with something like that, because they're definitely a big community now. There's a YouTube show that's super big, and you know, it's vocal. You know, people, producers are going to see, you know, why did that movie do so well? Oh, these reasons, right? Because they stay true to that feeling of what it's like to be in D&D. You know, like and like even in the beginning, there was something that was like, if they had just waited, you know, and how many times have a dungeon master been so upset because they're trying to make people go one way and everyone's just like, no, we're gonna go do this thing instead. Oh my god. But that's a good mention, and a very important mention. Last of Us, we talked about that a little bit already. It's super good adaptation of what that game felt like. And that's the thing, it's like what the game feels like, right? You don't, if like you're trying to freaking just make money off the thing and you don't make us feel like what the game felt like, then F you, right? Like, get out of here. Like, Sonic, maybe you don't necessarily like feel like the game. There's a few things in the game or whatever, but like they just so stay true to that, like this like kind of silly Sonic, and obviously the animation and all that was really fun and nice to look at. Like, it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't terrible, right? They almost made Sonic look terrible, but they didn't, thankfully, because they listened to people, listened to what freaking everybody was saying, right? I mean, it took a little bit, right? It took a little bit of harassment for them to get there, but I sure believe that they're happy that they got harassed into fixing Sonic, because look how much money they made. Sonic 2 probably would not have existed without it. Any thoughts there, Silly?
I think you nailed it in the head.
Perfect. Mortal Kombat 1, great. Annihilation. And then you have that most recently came out, and I think we're gonna get more Mortal Kombat films in the future, dude. And I'm here for that. Shoo.
You know, and look at that. Like, the Mortal Kombat film was fairly, I wouldn't say it was amazing, but it was I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Again, same thing as all of these, right? The Tomb Raider film, the one that came out a few years ago, I liked that it stayed true to the latest Tomb Raider games, the more edgier games.
Yeah.
I think that the actress playing Lara Croft was a good representation of the new Lara Croft.
Yeah.
She was very good in terms of acting, even though the movie script wasn't that great. But like her acting was still very believable. Like, yeah, I looked at it, I was like, that's a Tomb Raider film. You know, it has everything I was thinking about Tomb Raider, and I again, I liked it because it felt like the game. And I played the first Tomb Raider game. I think that came out 2014, 15. I played it. It was very, very good. It was a very good answer to Uncharted. And the movie really tries to like grab that and put it in film. Failed in a few things, but again, average film, not as bad as people say it is. It's a good rental, I would say.
for sure.
And then going into like other movies like Ready Player One, I think was a phenomenal film with just made for fan service.
Oh yeah. Know? Oh yeah. Perfect.
Detective Pikachu was everyone's dream.
Even though it's not a video game, right? Because it's obviously a show too or whatever.
Like an anime.
Nailed it.
Also, we've all wanted to know what a Bulbasaur would look like next to us, you know, or Mr. Mime, you know, like that was really, really like oh my god, like if these animals existed, this is so what cute. It would be like.
It's so cute.
I know. Kind of on a different note, the movie Tetris on Apple TV was one of the best, in my opinions, like based on a true story movies I've seen this year.
Not actually the video game, right? But it's about the video game.
It's not. It's about the video game. Yeah, it's about the video game. It's about how the video game came to be.
Yep.
Which the whole story's freaking bonkers.
Could you imagine?
But but then you read about it and it's like, yeah, most of that shit is true.
Oh wow.
And so it's you know, it's a movie about a video game, but again, it's
the only one of its kind, I think, like that.
I think so for now.
But
what I like about this movie is that it's the same thing where it's like you have directors and creators and filmmakers that care about the subject, and you can see that in the editing and the cinematography and the acting and the script. Like they want to tell a good story, and it doesn't have to be like I'm gonna change my life because of this movie. But it's like a good story can be entertaining, life-changing, or you know, or just A to B. But in the end, we're kind of in it for the ride, you know. Like, for example, Angry Birds. The story is just there. But the animations are cute, and the story is just something that we follow along, and we keep watching. And then at the end, the Angry Birds movie is hilarious. It's more of a comedy. Yeah, like I guess if you want to go into more like really, really, really top tier shit, then you know you can talk about like the Cuphead show, Castlevania show. Arcane, Cyberpunk.
The Cyberpunk Sonic show Prime. Is. I haven't seen Sonic Prime yet. Is it good?
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
It's well acted too.
No way. It's really, are you serious?
And Sonic Boom. The game was shit, but the show was hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
Very, very good. Yeah, very, very good.
Cyberpunk. Oh my god, that was. If you haven't watched it, and, you know, and you've played Cyberpunk, like you need to go watch that. Like, what's wrong with you? If you've never played Cyberpunk, don't really know much of the lore, and you're like, well, do I need to know anything about Cyberpunk before I get into it? You don't. You just go into it, and you're gonna understand by the end of it how the game makes you feel, dude. I was literally playing Cyberpunk while watching Edge Runners recently, and like I was playing and I literally was like then watching the show and I'm like this the feeling I'm getting is the same. Like yeah. I'm in the game and like these things are happening. There's this huge world, so many characters around, people getting blown up to pieces or whatever, crazy stuff going on. And then the show, you know, you're going through watching these characters and you know you're going through the development of their craziness and like you know going through the crime and just getting deeper into crime, and you don't think that they're gonna be able to, but that's what it requires to be a legend, right? And you hear things like you want to live a quiet life, or do you want to go out in a blaze of glory, or like you want to be a legend, or do you want to you know go to sleep or whatever. It's like oof, they that world that it's created, like in the world that you get to experience in Cyberpunk, it's 100% there in Edge Runners. Like the apartment, the places you see, the roads you're on, some of the buildings you visit in Edge Runners in the show.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. And I mean, granted, that show gave way to more people playing the game.
100%.
It
brought it back.
It brought people back to the game, which legit. I think that's just incredible. The fact that can happen.
Yep. Which thank you for mentioning of the fact that it did bring people back to the game. That is so important. Real quick, we need to talk about these Netflix shows that are doing a great job. So Castlevania is one of them. Arcane's another one. Dragon Age, I think, is actually like not that bad. I think people are liking it. I'm not really sure because I haven't really watched it too much. And then there's
I'm not sure either. Yeah.
So you know, it could be a dud, the Dragon Age one, but the fact that it's there being made, and I think they're working with the makers of Dragon Age, I think that really makes a lot of sense. Castlevania, dude, that first episode was like, I like it. Oh my god,
that was so good, so good.
Yes, oof. So, oh my God, that was so good, right? That, whatever Netflix is doing with their video game adaptations is fire, dude. They're doing such a freaking good job. Whatever Netflix is doing with their anime adaptations, please stop. Just probably don't do it anymore. You might be better off just going straight into the video game adaptations from here on out, because like the live action, what was the most recent movie? Cowboy Bebop. Like, a lot of people didn't like it. Live action Full Metal. A lot of people didn't like it. The live action One Piece. A lot of people are going to not watch it. Then and then you have the live action Avatar that's coming out. Not a movie. At least it's a show that they're working with the people who made Avatar in order to like get, to really try to make a live action show that really hits the nail of Avatar, The Last Airbender. I'm about that. I'm about that. That seems different than what that seems more along the lines with the video game shows. You get what I'm saying? Like Arcane and Cyberpunk, right? But please, Netflix, if you're listening, please, more Arcane and Cyberpunk. Like, that was, and like Castlevania, delicious. So good. So good. I had this on the notes here, everybody. The worst movie of them all, the worst video game movie of them all. We did speak about that a little bit. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It's the old that first Super Mario movie. Like, that is the absolute worst adaptation for any video game thing ever done. I don't think there's anything else that's worse. Even like, I saw there's like a Dead or Alive, like a movie adaptation or whatever, and that was probably better, dude. I swear to you, dude. Like, as a video game adaptation, dude, like, it was so horribly bad. But what the common denominator, and like because we're going to talk about here some of the bad ones that we feel, the thing that really sets them apart as being really bad, it's when you have these studios or producers or whatever not care about listening to the directors that love the lore or love the show or love the video game or whatever, or actors even, or writers even, that really know the lore of said material, said IP very well, but the people who are paying for the movie, for the entertainment, for the content, those people don't want to hear it. Those people don't want to hear the suggestions. Those people just want to create something with said IP in order to make money. Case in point, Halo. Halo show is not the Halo video game. Period. You get what I'm saying? That old Super Mario movie that came out is not Super Mario. Period. Now we can go through the list here of the video games that we would. I'm just gonna read the list down so that we can like really talk about like all the things that like really made them bad. Right? Prince of Persia, Assassin's Creed, the Uncharted movie, the Monster Hunter movie, the Need for Speed movie, the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, and the shows that have been on Netflix, the Doom Annihilation movie. And I think Rampage didn't really do so well either. But those have been some of the few ones that, specifically Prince of Persia, dude. Prince of Persia literally made people go out and say, I think Prince of Persia is one of those actual movies that like broke the camel's back in how the public views diversity, right? Because Prince of Persia is full of, let me just say it, very white people pretending to be Persians. And when that happened, and the world was like...
It was awkward, yeah.
It was awkward, dude. And everyone's just like, are there no Persian actors out there that could have participated? What the hell? Why are there no good Persian actors that could literally do their own like stunts? Oh my God, dude. It's like, that was a problem.
It also wasn't good.
It also wasn't good. It also didn't live up to the lore of Prince of Persia.
Yeah, it just wasn't good. And the funny thing is, like with Uncharted, it almost falls in the same aspect where it's like, well, the casting of Tom Holland, I think, was not great.
What's the guy's name who actually voices the character? Nathan Fillion? Is that him?
No. It's not Nathan. It's not Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion is a Drake lookalike.
Drake lookalike. That's right. Lookalike. Who's that? Who's that guy?
Okay.
I thought he actually looked like him too. I can't remember. But anyways, that's a side point.
Oh my God. Wait. Why am I blanking on the voice actor's name?
Nolan North.
Oh, there you go. Yes, Nolan North.
Nolan North. Yeah. I guess he doesn't really look like as much. Yeah,
no, like, I mean, and Nolan North is a little bit older, but I think Nathan Fillion would have been a better casting, or someone a bit older or looks a little older than Tom Holland. But the point that I'm getting at is
that baby face.
The movie really tries to be like the games, and it's just not done very well.
Interesting.
Okay, so I watched it And I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. And I think the biggest issues I had were the casting and the fact that the movie overall felt meh.
You know, that's interesting that you said that. It made me feel, now that you said that, because one of my friends who loves movies, goes to movies like every 2 days, right? And he watches everything that goes on in theaters. He watched Uncharted. And he told me about it. He was like, it was a fun movie. He's like, he's played Uncharted, but like, if you can forget Uncharted, just watch it for what it is, a movie. It's enjoyable. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
I think if you think about the game and you're comparing it to the game, then you're gonna get upset, right? Which brings me to this point: how many of these movies are just made to be good movies, using that IP to try to get more people in, just to watch that IP, right? You get what I'm saying? But they're not doing that IP really, like Halo. You get what I'm saying? Versus the other ones that we're talking about that are really good. Yeah, they're making a movie for the cash, and they're also living up to the IP. Here's my case. Here's my point with that. Because let's talk about Prince of Persia, for example. The Prince of Persia movie. Prince of Persia as a game made enough money for you guys to decide to make it into a movie. Because you guys thought, oh, there's been plenty of people who are playing this game. It's definitely going to be bring in some bucks. And I think the movie made a little bit of money because of just the aspect that people want to go and see the video game adapted, right? But like, if the video game is already successful, why, for the love of everything, are you going in and changing and doing things that just like are so separate from this game, right? That just like really separate people from the game. But Prince of Persia is not the only example. Like, obviously, like Assassin's Creed, just like that's one that I mentioned before, that it was as a movie that you just go and watch without thinking of anything. You have fun and you can forget about it, like a good rental, whatever, right? As somebody who understands the lore of that game, pisses me off what happened. And that's just it. That's just it. And I think for Assassin's Creed also, the game is successful enough that if you guys had just done more things that were Assassin's Creed related and make you feel more like the game, it would also have been just as successful, right?
Yeah.
That's my opinion, right? But obviously that didn't happen. And Halo, my God, they definitely made that show more open for everybody. Like for example, I don't know if they want to do the Mandalorian route of having the faceless like main character or whatever, but they'd like top this guy's face off and show everything. I don't know if the actor really wanted it. I don't remember anymore because of how much I want to forget that movie show.
Yeah.
Dude, like they did it to get a more of an audience instead of doing it for Halo, right? But if you have done the show for Halo, all of us fans would be promoting it for you guys. We would literally have done a podcast praising the fuck out of that thing. Instead, we did one ripping it apart. Dude, I'm pissed. I'm pissed off at them. Master what is wrong with you guys?
And I really do hope that the movies and the shows that are planning on coming out, like your Twisted Metal, Gears of War, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and others. Like, I do hope that they take the lessons learned in Halo and the lessons learned in Last of Us and really just see, like, okay, why did Halo f up? Why was the Last of Us so successful?
Yep.
How can we make our stuff as good as this? And like with God of War, that one I'm a bit nervous about. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do it.
I'm nervous about that one too.
Also, like The Rock, really? I don't know. Maybe
no, The Rock cannot be in God of War. Please, for the love of God, do not put The Rock in God of War. There was a dude, who was the dude who played at Stargate SG-1, Taruk, what was his name? I heard that, like, he's a voice actor, right?
Just get the voice actor to do it,
just get him to do it. He's
huge. Yeah, he's huge.
Perfect. He's a little bit old. It don't matter.
It don't matter because it's Kratos.
It's perfect. Exactly.
Yeah. Plus, you gotta put like white paint on the guy anyways. So it's like, don't matter the race, man.
Dude, Teal.
Anyway.
Teal was his name. Christopher Judge.
Yeah, Christopher Judge.
Dude, I remember Christopher Judge even saying that like he did God of War, like the voice acting, like as like a tribute for his kids, like he really put his heart into it.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Come on. That dude is Kratos. Come on.
Yeah, and and I hope that hopefully if these keep doing well, maybe in the future we can get like a Jack and Daxter show or movie, the Metal Gear movie everyone's been talking about with Oscar Isaac. I would really like Mass Effect or even Metro to be adapted. I know Mass Effect is kind of a big ask, but
Yeah.
maybe something in that universe would be kind of cool. What about you?
So Metal Gear, you said Metal Gear, that's literally my number one. That would be the best video game adaptation to a movie because there's so much good, important story to be told there, like and relevant to our day and age today, which is such a big deal, right? Apex Legends, I would actually really like a show of that because there's a lot of characters who interact a lot and they do a lot of comics and stories anyway. So why not? You have a lot that you can go off of. I was thinking Dark Souls, but I'm not so sure on that. You might have to get me later because Dark Souls is almost more just better done as a game. I don't think you can necessarily capture that feeling in a movie. But it brings me to my last one. Legend of Zelda, not necessarily played. And I say that because think about what the Legend of Zelda actually is as a game. There's multiple Legend of Zeldas, right? You have the Hero of Time, you have the Hero of Wind, you have the Hero of the Sky, right? Now you have the Hero of the Wild, right? And now you have the another hero, right? Give us a movie of a hero, the hero of sound, call it. I don't know, right? But give us another hero, Link. That Link, right? Blonde Link with Zelda, right? With a Zelda and a Ganon or an enemy, or even like the mage enemy, right? It can be the mage enemy, right? But I think a Zelda adaptation, the way that Nintendo did the Super Mario movie, but make it serious, right? You're not obviously Mario can be more jokey, right? But you do the same type of thing, but you're serious now, right? What you're doing because there's a serious content with Legend of Zelda. It's very important. The lore, the story. Nintendo understands that. That's why Tears of the Kingdom is the best fucking game out there. You know what I'm saying? They understand that completely, right? So if they made a movie based on Legend of Zelda and they stayed so true to that, that would be, dude, I think I would like tear up, you know, like at the end of that movie, because it would just be, I can't even predict what would happen. I just know that like if they can nail that feeling of having gone through the adventure with Link and defeating the enemy at the end, hats off. It's just the hero's journey, though. But you get what I'm saying? It's just the hero's journey, but do it with the Legend of Zelda correctly. Hats off. Now when I say that, though, I also say that because I've told the bros this. I have this theory, and I'm gonna hit it real quick. I have this theory about the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out, and the theory basically is that we're gonna get a Smash Bros movie, Infinity War style, maybe in 8 years, 10 years. I swear to you guys, I really think it's coming down the line, because with some of the things that we saw, some of the Easter eggs that we got in a Super Mario movie, you know, some of the like the Lon Lon Ranch people kind of being depicted as Mario's family in the beginning of the movie. Not only that, but to me and a lot of different people as well on TikTok, and some people have also said this on some like Reddit, for example, the scene where Mario goes down into those tunnels down in New York and actually gets transported to his tunnel, it feels too much like Majora's Mask. And Link, when he got lost from Hyrule and went into Termina, he went through a tunnel, and that's how he gets lost and gets stuck on the other side, right? Think about it, everybody. The Mushroom Kingdom, we think it's been connected to Yoshi's Island, and it's been connected to Donkey Kong World because they're just all on the same planet. No, they are traveling through tunnels, through interdimensional tunnels, the same tunnels that brought Mario from New York to the Candy Kingdom, to the Mushroom Kingdom. This is the same tunnels that they're using to get around from Donkey Kong World and whatever, right? So there's definitely dimensions, right? And not only that, but in the Smash Bros movie, all these characters are together. Fighting like each other, but fighting a grander enemy, right? And this grander enemy is somehow connected to Ganondorf and Bowser. You get what I'm saying now? Bowser's an enemy in this movie,
for the
right?
win.
Super Smash Bros. Mother effing movie, dude.
Avengers, man. It's gonna be like
Avengers style, literally Avengers style. But you can't just do that, and you can't just like initiate like a bunch of characters, right? Because look at how the Marvel Universe did that. The cinematic universe. They had an Iron Man movie, a Thor movie, a Captain America movie. So we're gonna get this is my opinion. We're gonna get a Super Mario movie. We're gonna get a Super Mario 2 movie. But the characters that are gonna introduce are not gonna be necessarily within the Kong Kingdom. It's gonna be now Yoshi's Island, because at the very end of the movie, the teaser that we got was that the Yoshi egg came through a portal portal again, everybody, right? It came through and it was just sitting in New York, not even in the Mushroom Kingdom now, right? So now we have this Easter egg of Yoshi. So we're gonna get introduced to Yoshi. Who else? Kirby? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Dude.
Yeah, dude. No, I mean, the possibilities are
endless. So if they were to not even do, maybe do Super Mario 2, Yoshi, whatever, and we get some more characters in there, beautiful, right? And you get the princess girl from the Super Mario Galaxy show game or whatever. You know, there's a lot of things you can do, right? Rosalina, right? But now I said Iron Man and a Thor and a Captain America were separate movies, right? That's where I bring in the Legend of Zelda movie. They do a Legend of Zelda movie, and at the very end of it, something happens as a teaser to show us that there's this portal, probably through the Lost Woods, that sends you to New York or sends you to the Mushroom Kingdom. Dude. And that's how we get the Nintendo Cinematic Universe, dude. Disney needs to quake in their boots right now, because not only is Nintendo have theme parks that are rivaling Disney's, where they're at, right? And will rival. If they open up more in the US, they will absolutely rival Disney.
The ultimate adaptation, the theme park.
The ultimate adaptation. Literally, you bring it to the real world, right? That's what Disney has done. That's what Walt Disney knew. You do these shows, people fall in love, and they go and see Mickey. That's literally the point of that, right? That you see these people, and then the kids love that. That's why you do so many shows, and it's beautiful, and it really is a ton of fun, right? Nintendo as a company, with the amount of money that they have and have made, they can actually do that, and they are beginning to do that. And this first Super Mario movie, they're going to learn a lot of lessons from it. But I really do believe that second movie that they put out, it's gonna be good, so much better, because they're gonna have heard all of the issues that we had with the first with this recent Super Mario movie.
Oh my god,
that's my theory, yo.
My brain just melted. My brain just melted.
That's my conspiracy theory. Unlike Charlie Day in that meme, and here, and Pepe Sylvia. Oh, it's Pepe Sylvia. Speaking of Charlie Day, fantastic job as Luigi's voice. He is Luigi's voice, bro. That was... Yeah, I loved hearing, and I would think about Charlie, because I love Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but I think he was perfect as Luigi, because he was just oh my god, all the time, and it's just so funny, his voice, and I think it's just perfect for Luigi. And I just dying laughing that Mario gets sent to the beautiful area when they're in the tunnels, in the beginning of the movie, in the portals or whatever, wormholes. Mario gets sent to the beautiful Mushroom Kingdom, all beautiful, whatever, and Luigi gets sent to the Luigi's Mansion world. Oh my god! It's just, of course, it happened, Luigi, of course. And I think some people had some issue that we didn't get more Luigi. Yo, it's not the only movie. That's my theory.
I think I gotta sit down.
I'm gonna have to think. Oh my god. My brain is melting out of my ears. Yo, when I had that theory though, man, oh my god. I literally told my wife, I had I gave her this master spiel in the car. She was just So kudos to her for listening to my rants.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, thank you guys so much. That was quite the conversation. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to all these new adaptations. It needed to be said, I know, best case scenario, we just, we watch a show and we make a review out of it. But I think what's more important is to showcase just the amount of good video game content we have besides the video games themselves.
Absolutely,
and,
bro.
I mean, I can't wait for you to watch Sonic Boom and Sonic Prime and let me know what you think. I need to go watch the Dragon Age show, because I just started playing Origins again.
Can we do a watch party on Discord and watch Doom one of these days? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that'd be fun! Yes! I'm down. I'm 100% down. I'm down. Yeah. But the whole idea that there's a curse, I think it's not a curse. It's like anything, even with adapting a book, or
it's not a curse, it's a negligence.
Yeah, it's negligence. Yeah, it's not that. Can it be made into a movie? Yes, it can be. Can it be made into a show? Yes, it can be. But you need to respect where it comes from.
Yep.
And B, not butcher it. So it's by respecting it, you try to create something in the same vein and maybe add your spin to it. So again, like the best example I think is The Last of Us.
I think so too.
Because it has all the things we love about The Last of Us. It has the great story, the great acting, the great script, the thematic elements. Yeah, the thematic elements of the show are in the game, but at the same time, they add to it. So now that you play the game, you'll think about the show, or when you watch the show again, or after beating the game, you'll just enjoy it more. And so I think that's the key, where it's like, if you're going to make a pepperoni pizza, make a pepperoni pizza. But if you want to add to it, then add your jamon, your bacon,
Your pineapple, if that's
and if you dig it. But, as long as, if you decide to make a vegan pizza with some vegan pepperoni, people are going to be like, that's not pizza. Just saying.
Yeah, I think people are gonna fight you if you put that pineapple on some pizza too. Or especially don't dress it up as a vegan pizza.
Horrible analogy. Pizza. Horrible analogy. But my idea is that you gotta respect what came before and what's already established, and then you can make your own story off of that. And Halo tried, but they fucked it too much. So,
dude, oh my God.
Like they fucked it way too much. But anyway,
oh my God.
Again, Master Cheeks.
You know what? If it's a Master Cheeks show, all right, man, put it on Pornhub. Fine.
Oh God. Anyway, thank you, Master Rein. We've missed you. Glad you're back.
Man.
Thank you everyone for listening to today's podcast. That's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Remember to follow us on all our social media. Check out the links below. And remember, of course, to leave us a comment or 5 stars, depending on what platform you're listening. And we're looking forward to our next episode. Master Rein, any final thoughts?
Hopefully you guys will see more of me online, like on Twitch, playing more games. Probably play Cyberpunk here a little bit, since Cyberpunk has been really good again now. I'm really happy to stream that, and then Tears of the Kingdom, of course, and maybe if I end up buying Diablo, I'll play that with the boys who are level 5,000.
I can play with you if you buy it. I'll play with you.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, because we also want to play BattleBit. We also want to play a few other co-op games, Outlast. So there's a few games we definitely need to prioritize. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
Anyway, adios amigos. This is Silly Squirrel signing out. Peace. Yo, seriously, bro, go watch Sonic Boom, man. That shit's funny.
Sonic boom.